Tim Saunders with Steve Coates at Skate Zone in Voorhees as another training camp is set to begin for the Flyers. There are some new faces this year, one of which, Sam Gagner, coming over in a trade during the summer. There was some question whether the Flyers were going to re-sign him, but Coatesy, he's going to be given an opportunity here.
It's going to be interesting to see how Sam Gagner really responds here in Philadelphia. I think it's a great opportunity for him. Now here's one of those Edmonton #1 draft picks that basically I don't think ever learned anything in Edmonton. Oh yeah, there was a big group of them, but they were all the same. And they were all young together. So there was nobody really to grab them and say, okay, Sam, this is what you got to do. So he went from Edmonton to Arizona. Didn't get any better there. This is a guy that's got great talent. He was a #1 for a reason. Had a great junior career with the London Knights. But now all of a sudden he's with a hockey club that I think that there's enough leadership in this room and enough skill level in this room to really bring him into a forefront. If you take a look around the National Hockey League, every hockey club's got about 6 retreaded #1s, recycled #1s, where they didn't have an opportunity to play in another area, but they do get an opportunity because they are #1s. Everybody always likes to think they can make them better. I think that's true here in Philadelphia, and I think that Sam Gagner is really going to benefit from that.
You talked about his offensive instincts. He came up as a center, but there are those who believe, and some here in Philadelphia, that he's more likely to play the wing.
And you know, it's when the game's changed now. I don't think that the right wing, center, left wing position is an intricate as it was in the past, because of the systems and the people all over the place. And a guy like Gagner, with the talent and the skating ability and the hockey sense, should fit in that position easily.
We talked about a couple of defensemen, Evgeny Medvedev, Radko Gudas, are going to be kind of new faces in the big picture. But in goal, the backup goaltender has changed, and he's a good one.
Michael Neuwirth is a former #2 pick of the Washington Capitals. He's been around a little bit, played for the Buffalo Sabres, the Washington Capitals, and the New York Islanders. And, you know, he's the perfect guy when you think about it. And when you take a look at a guy like Steve Mason, he wants to know he's the #1 guy. He doesn't want to have a competition. I deserve it, let me be the #1 guy. So Michael Neuwirth, he comes along, he understands his position. Is he a guy that can play net? Absolutely. He's a guy that's not very big, 6'1", but he's acrobatic, he's athletic, and he's got nerves of steel. Doesn't let anything bother him. So that's half the battle when you're playing the game and playing net. And so I think that this is going to be a nice addition.
And there's no question, Steve Mason's still the #1 guy here,
yeah.
But they've already said Neuwirth's likely to play more games than your typical backup would.
And that's a good thing too, because the schedule is tougher and tougher now. 82 games. It's not like the old days where you could play 80 games. The guys of the days of Brodeur are done, where you play 70 games and the backup's going to play 12 games and you won't even know his name. Times have changed, so I imagine Steve Mason's going to have to know that, but at the same time, he also has to know he's the #1.
Fun thing about training camp is you always have to keep an open mind, because inevitably somebody is going to surprise the Flyers and do more than they expected.
Every year we talk about, oh my goodness, where did this guy come from? We're going to have to put him in. We've got too many right wingers. We've got too many left wingers. We've got too many centers. That's what training camp's all about. And it's exciting if you have a young player come up. I think last year we were talking about Taylor Lear a lot, about what a great training camp he had. He had a pretty good year down in Lehigh Valley. So every year there's somebody, and hopefully you get 2 or 3.
Training camp begins September the 17th on the ice for the first time the following day. With Steve Coates at Skate Zone, I'm Tim Saunders.